What's up, A to Z Sports live on NFL Draft Day 2022, and Jack Gentry is with me as Zach is currently wings up in the air to Las Vegas for A to Z Sports. I have not seen Jack this pumped up and since game day of the divisional round against the Bengals before the game started. So we're going to have a big show today, a huge day, and a big weekend overall for A to Z Sports as it is the NFL Draft finally is here, and we are going to start today a long weekend of NFL draft coverage. We will hit you literally from every angle. You will not be able to escape Titans draft coverage from A to Z Sports, and we'll talk more about that here in a second. But today, Jack, on the show, we're talking about the 5 players most likely to be drafted by the Tennessee Titans tonight in that first round. Then we will discuss who we all want the Titans to go with. Then we will also get into our final prediction. I think there is a difference between who we want the Titans to pick in the first round and who we think the Titans will pick in the first round. And then Zach is not here today, but Zach has given us a gift. Zach is giving us $250 of his own money for us to decide where we're going to place that at the BetMGM Sportsbook in Las Vegas. So we're going to have a fun time with that. It is the Magic Bucket, so we'll do the Magic Bucket at the end of the show, and then we'll get it rolling towards tonight for the NFL Draft. Jack, welcome in. What's going on, man?
Oh, man, I'm so excited. I am very excited for Draft Day. It's been a long time coming. This offseason is kind of dragged on. And, we've gone through and we've analyzed Ryan Tannehill, Todd Downing, A.J. Brown's tweets, for God's sake. It's been tough on us. The content has kind of dried up, especially after the Robert Woods deal got done and some of the Titans' offseason priorities. Those boxes were checked by John Robinson in the front office. But now the Titans are going to draft a new player tonight. Probably. If they don't trade out, they're going to draft a new player tonight who, hopes to contribute to a Super Bowl run next year and, extend the Super Bowl window for the following 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it may be. I'm excited to see who it is. John Robinson, I mean, he may be the least predictable man on draft night that there is right now. I know he's got an affinity for drafting tackles that stink, but hopefully that changes. If it changes tonight, we'll see. But yeah, while you guys are trickling in, we want to hear from all you guys. Who do you think the Titans are going to take? While you're filing in on Twitter, retweet the show on Facebook, share it, YouTube. Make sure you have your notifications turned on so you get an update every time A to Z Sports goes live. Those are going to come in handy tonight because we've got a draft show later on that you're not going to want to miss. So make sure to share the show, text a friend, tell a friend, whatever you got to do. Let's grow this conversation. It's draft day, for God's sakes. Let's hear from you guys.
Yep, and let's get it officially started. Welcome to A to Z Sports, powered by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Jack Gentry in for Zach Bingham today, who is flying to Las Vegas for our A to Z Sports NFL Draft coverage 2022 in Las Vegas. More on that here in a second. But we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, and we go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. Also hit us up and find the show links on Twitter, Instagram, and then find us on TikTok as well. You gotta thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us, and they help out you guys with Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process by going to see them at wilsoncountyhyundai.com in Lebanon. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. And Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans. That's better coverage, better rates, better service. Learn more about a health plan for you at fbhp.com/ATOZ. So Jack in for Zach. We're about to get into the 5 players most likely to be drafted by the Titans tonight in the first round. Then we'll get who we want the Titans to go to and our final official predictions on who we think the Titans will draft tonight in the first round, currently slated to pick 26th overall in the draft. But Jack, this is just the very beginning of a ton of NFL draft coverage all day long, all weekend long with A to Z Sports. So today, Zach, Jake Evans, and Parker Mosley are going to be in Las Vegas covering the NFL draft tonight, credentialed by the NFL. So they'll have loads of content all over our social media. And then we'll also have a live stream reaction with you, with myself, and with your partner on the Tight Up podcast, Austin Huff. He will be joining us as we react live to the Titans draft pick in the first round. And we do have great sponsors I want to shout out again for our live draft coverage tonight and Friday night when we do the same thing for day 2 of the NFL draft. We're giving away VIP passes, a pair to the Bourbon and Beyond Festival in Louisville, September, and a pair of VIP passes to the Louder Than Life Festival, also in Louisville, the week after the Bourbon and Beyond Festival. So look out on our social media for how to win either of those VIP passes. A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. This one's really easy. Mother's Day is in like 10 days. Don't mess it up. Go to momentspeace.com/mom. You get her a gift card and you win. That's it. That's all you got to do. And also HelloFresh. We'll give you free food. You get free 16 meals plus 3 gifts by going to HelloFresh.com/ATOZ16. That's HelloFresh.com/ATOZ1616 and use code ATOZ16 for 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. So we got a lot of great things going on with what we've got. So, Jack, we're going to dive right into this.
Perfect.
5 players we think the Titans are most likely to pick tonight at 26. So 26 is hard to predict because there's 25 picks before and it's unpredictable. You have no idea what these NFL GMs are going to do. So we each have a list of 5 players. I'm curious to see how many crossovers we have of these 5 players. So Jack, I will let you start by running through somewhat quickly your 5 players you think the Titans are most likely to pick tonight.
Yeah, I think it's really 3 positions that the Titans will probably have circled on their board for tonight. So that's kind of where, or not just 3 areas, I guess I should say, because offensive line, some of these guys can play different roles on the O-line, right?
Yeah.
So let's start at the top. Treylon Burks, he's garnered a lot of buzz. You guys, if you follow me on Twitter, you guys know how much I like this guy. Zion Johnson comes next. Boston College guy. Vrabel's done his due diligence on him. You know it. Played with his son. He's a hot name in the draft. I don't know that he'll be there.
Yeah.
But he's on my list. Kenyon Green, A&M. Played 4 positions on the O-line last year at A&M. He'd be a nice addition to the Titans. Then I got Tyler Smith, the tackle from Tulsa. I know that a lot of people have strong opinions on him one way or another. So, but he's on my list. And finally, last but not least, Desmond Ridder. I think Desmond Ridder is a possibility for tonight. He's got a lot of things in common with Tannehill. I think he fits the mold.
Okay, so those are your 5 guys, right? And you went in this order. You went Treylon Burks, Arkansas, Zion Johnson, guard from Boston College, Kenyon Green, offensive lineman, can pretty much play anything but center, offensive lineman from Texas A&M. Then Tyler Smith, offensive tackle from Tulsa, and Desmond Ridder, quarterback from Cincinnati.
Yeah, and look, there are 5 guys. Okay, I have a guy who I like, or I would want the Titans to draft. A guy who I'll think the Titans will draft.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, but these are the 5 guys that I think are going to be,
Jack, you want to know my list of 5 guys?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Kenyon Green, Treylon Burks, Zion Johnson, Tyler Smith, Desmond Ridder.
I said before the show that you said, we may have a couple of the same guys. I have a feeling we might have 5 of the same guys.
We have, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy though? Is that the Titans picking 26th? We know what the needs are. We got the same 3 offensive linemen, the 1 wide receiver that feels like might be the fit, and then the quarterback that they know they have ties to. And so, I do find it interesting that that's where we're at, but who do you think is, and this is not the first question of the show. I will ask this though. What percentage chance do you think the Titans will draft one of these 5 guys?
95. I think the only way that
you think it's 95% chance it's one of these 5
guys. I think it's absolutely one of these 5. And the only chance, the 5% chance that one of these guys does not land with the Titans tonight is if the Titans trade back into round 2. I think it's that sure of a thing. I mean, we've heard all the buzz. The Titans obviously have a hole at left guard. They have half a hole at right tackle. Ryan Tannehill may be on his last year with the team. So that makes sense for a quarterback to slip in there, even though this class isn't great. And obviously the wide receiver position, John Robinson, you could always stand to add one of those guys to help Tannehill out a little more in the pass game. So I absolutely think it's one of those 5 guys that we named.
You think it's 95%? That's crazy. I'm going to read some
really
comments because that's a super high percentage. David says 90. Steven says 85. Let's see. Dylan says 85%. 85% from Brian. Steven says 97. Chris with 90. Lou Man with 96. Jeff Rubel with 90%. Donald with 35%. Look, Jameson says, okay, please no more offensive linemen selected in the first round or the second round as well. Well, look, like just because you messed up with Isaiah Wilson doesn't mean that you go away from offensive linemen in the first round. And so I don't think it's 95% like you said, Jack. I think it's probably like 70% chance they draft one of those 5 guys. I think it does seem like that's a high possibility. But again, which of these 5 is least likely to be there? Like, who is most likely to be gone by 26? I think it's Zion Johnson.
I also do. I also think it is. He's the number 1 interior offensive lineman here. Just a bulldog in the run game. I mean, he can do a lot. At Boston College, he was, the left guard for 2 seasons when they ran the triple option. And then Steve Adazio came in. He runs a power run offense. So he's perfect for what the Titans have in mind for Derrick Henry after losing a road grader in Roger Saffold to the Bills. Zion Johnson makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, I think he makes a lot of sense for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Being available at 26 might be a stretch.
All right, I think Zion Johnson's most likely to be gone by the time the Titans are on the clock. I think second on this list is Treylon Burks. I think Burks has a big opportunity to go 22 to the Packers, and you're always worried to see what happens with the run of wide receivers in this draft. When does it start? How fast does it go? Because you've got a lot of teams with multiple picks, and so a lot of teams that have an opportunity to go, super need with 1 pick and wide receiver with a 2nd pick. And the Saints, the Eagles, the Giants, the Jets, all the Packers, all these guys have multiple picks in the draft, and all those are before, except for one of the Packers picks, are before the Titans. So I do think Treylon Burks will be gone. I think Tyler Smith is a bad situation. Drafting Tyler Smith out of Tulsa is a situation where everybody else is off the board. You can't trade back, and you don't want to go quarterback. So you just kind of settle with Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith for Tulsa is a big settlement.
If Tyler Smith is the best of these 5 players that we just listed, if he's the best available, if, like you said, Zion Johnson, Treylon Burks, and even Kenyon Green are gone, and Tyler Smith is probably the best available, or at least the best available, on the offensive line, I think that's a trade back scenario.
All right, I have a really but it takes 2 to tango. Yeah, as they say, I know, right? You got to have somebody willing to trade up. So here's my on-the-fly question for everybody, because I am curious about this. Because I saw somebody that says, God, I'd go quarterback over Smith. And Dylan says, if they get Tyler Smith, we riot.
Oh, no.
So here is my on-the-fly question. And it goes along with I'd rather go quarterback over Tyler Smith. Would you rather have Tyler Smith at 26 or draft quarterback at 26 Desmond Ridder? Would you rather go Tyler Smith at 26 or Desmond Ridder at 26, the quarterback? But real quick, let me tell you guys, HelloFresh, a great sponsor of all of our NFL draft coverage today and throughout the entire weekend. Really pumped about having HelloFresh join us again. They're doing a great deal where you can get 16 free meals by using our promo code right there, ATOZ16. That's ATOZ16. HelloFresh is great. 72% cheaper than dining at a restaurant, and a lot of times cheaper than going to the grocery store. That's according to Zagat Dining Survey. You can pick from your favorites. There's up to 50 different weekly options. The HelloFresh app is easy to use and maneuver. You can skip weeks when you need to, change your delivery date, or update all your preferences right from the app. HelloFresh is great. I love it because busy lifestyle, you want to eat healthy. Zach and I talked yesterday. There's not a lot of healthy options in Nashville. Well, HelloFresh can be one of those instead of just going through one of those other apps and delivery apps and landing on pizza again. Super easy to cook. I can tell you that. Also helps you improve your cooking skills. Again, simply go to HelloFresh.com ATOZ16 and use code ATOZ16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts with HelloFresh. So, Jack, I do want to ask this question. Would you rather go quarterback Desmond Ridder or settle with Tyler Smith? And so for Tim, who is saying neither,
Tim,
that's not the game we're playing. We're playing the game.
I'm with you, Tim. I know it's not the game, but I'm with Tim there. Oh, man. If it's between Tyler Smith and Desmond Ridder, I think Tyler Smith has a better percentage. We're talking percentages. I think he's got a better chance to help the Titans in his rookie season than Desmond Ridder does. And again, the Super Bowl window we always talk about. I don't know how much Ridder extends that because to me, it feels like Ridder's ceiling is what Ryan Tannehill was 2 seasons ago. And yeah, you could definitely win a Super Bowl with that caliber of a player. But if you're going to draft a quarterback at the back end of the first round, you better be damn sure it's going to work out. I don't trust Ridder. I don't think he's a sure thing. And like I said, his ceiling, I think Sam Howell has the highest ceiling of any of these quarterbacks. Really? But I do think it would be a reach to grab him at 26 because he'll be available in the second round if you want to trade up or trade back. So Tyler Smith or Desmond Ridder, I think I'm leaning Smith. I just think there's more to work with there. Big body, good in the run game. A tackle. If Radens doesn't pan out, you've got to break glass in case of emergency option in Tyler Smith. Or it's a guy that can push Radens through camp. So for me, between those two, I'm leaning Tyler Smith.
Yeah, so the draft process is an emotional roller coaster. So, you got to, follow the waves and not try to get too out of bounds. But I really think that I am out on the Titans drafting a quarterback in the first round completely. Oh, yeah. I am out on quarterback this year. I do not think that is the right move. I think that will be, a waste of a 4 or 5 year period by drafting a quarterback in the first round. So with that being said, I think if this scenario happens, which I believe is a nightmare scenario for the Titans, where Kenyon Green, Treylon Burks, and Zion Johnson are off the board, you can't trade out, you're stuck at 26. Tyler Smith, I would pick him over Desmond Ridder. But I also do think I would rather, my answer is Tyler Smith. So I will answer the question. Tyler Smith is where I would go in this situation. But I would also rather reach on a different wide receiver than go Tyler Smith at this point. Because I think Tyler Smith, there's not a lot of difference in him in an offensive lineman you can get at 90. I think there's a bigger difference in a wide receiver you can get at 26, even if you have to reach, because you'd have to reach on Tyler Smith. You'd have to reach on a wide receiver at 26 if Burks is gone. I'd rather reach on the wide receiver than reach on the offensive lineman. So that's my overall answer right there.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when you wait to find a receiver, and John Robinson found this out last year, there's no guarantee that guy's even going to be able to be, crack the active roster, especially when you got, guys that are established now. A.J. Brown, Robert Woods, Nick Westbrook-Akine came on last year. I know that his best role with the team is probably just special teams and filling in when needed. But I wonder if John Robinson learns from last year, and it's in a different way. It's kind of the opposite because last year he procrastinated on the wide receiver position, which was at the time the biggest draft need. Fast forward to this year, the biggest draft need is up on that offensive line. However, I think it's easier to procrastinate in the draft when you're drafting an offensive lineman. You can find a guy like Cole Strange, Dylan Parham, some of these interior guys in the second or third round. And I know you don't have a second round pick now, but you've got 2/3 if you want to make some moves. So I think it's easier to draft an offensive lineman. And there's been plenty of cases. Trey Smith last year with the Chiefs, 6th round pick. You can find a guy in those mid rounds that can help you in their rookie season. But with the wide receivers, you got to take them at the top. You can't, I mean, the drop off from round 1 receivers to really round 2 and beyond is a steep, it's a Grand Canyon-like gap. So I think the Titans can afford to wait on the offensive lineman. If Treylon Burks is there and you're truly taking the best player available, that's who you pick.
All right, so Caleb says, Austin, you can't make up your own rules to the game and then answer it and then say, but. Yeah, I can. I answered the question. I just gave you bonus info. I just gave you bonus opinion. I answered the question. I played the game the correct way, and then I gave bonus information and opinion there too. All right, A to Z Sports here live. I've seen Jamison Williams will be long gone, Bo, by the time the Titans are off the board at 26 overall. So, Jack, let's go ahead and get this. I did kind of come up with a on the fly question when it came to Desmond Ridder or Tyler Smith in a potential nightmare scenario for the Titans, but now I'm going to get to the actual first question of the show, and that is, who do you want? This is not who do you think. This is literally who do you want? Who do you want the Titans to draft at 26th overall? Obviously be realistic. Like Bo just went with, he would love Jamison Williams. Jamison Williams not going to be there. Try to be realistic with guys that have an actual opportunity to be there at 26 overall. But who do you want the Titans to draft in the first round tonight? Real quickly, remind you, BetMGM, they're the king of sports books. Download the BetMGM app today. There is NBA action going on tonight. There's also, we're going to talk about some NFL draft bets when it comes to the Titans and Zach's money here in a little bit later in the show. But there is 3 games of NBA action. So if you're new to BetMGM, it's a perfect time to do this. Use code ATOZ200. That's ATOZ200 for a $10 moneyline wager to win you $200 when either NBA team hits a 3-point shot in that game. So simple steps, download the app, use our code ATOZ200. Your first deposit, you put that in there. You take a $10 moneyline wager on any NBA team tonight, and you're going to win $200 when either team in that game hits a 3-point shot right there with BetMGM. All right, Jack, I'm going to send you to the comment section. Who are the people saying they want the Titans to draft in the first round tonight?
John Michael Presley thinks Treylon Burks is the move. Ridder, we've got Sky Moore popping up there. That might be a little bit of a reach. Yeah. Zion Johnson, but probably not going to be there. So his plan B is going to be Burks. Burks is a hell of a plan B, by the way. Burks or Dotson? We're going wide receiver, says Steve Redfern. Todd says trade back, get Sky Moore. So that's 2 Sky Moores. Okay. I see you guys. Bo Jones, Zion Johnson or Burks? A couple of guys we just talked about. Same here. Zion Johnson or Burks, says Brandon Connor. Burks or Zion? Here we go. Do you see a trend happening here?
Yeah.
Jahan Dotson, get some quickness and speed out there at the wide receiver position. No one wants Riddler, says Bo. So he doesn't have a guy, but he just knows who he doesn't want. Stephen King says Penning or the Rain Man. Some offensive line there.
Trevor Penning, I don't know if he's going to be there, but I do think Trevor Penning would be a good pick. Yes, that would move Dylan Radins to probably left guard and have Trevor Penning try out at right tackle.
I just worry about his penalty issues that he had in college. Desmond Ridder, Matt Corral, hey, there's an Ole Miss guy, or Treylon Burks in the first round from Grizz Talk. Big game 6 coming up there, Grizz Talk.
Yeah,
we got Burks, more Burks, a lot of Burks. Green, Kenyon Green, day 1 starter, impact for the run game, and Tannehill, he's versatile. I like G-Man on Bass's thoughts there. Orlando says Burks, London or Johnson. If London is there at 26, I mean,
Drake London is not going to be there. There's no way.
You turn that pick in 5 seconds. Forget the clock.
Once you're on the clock, it doesn't matter, Jack. It doesn't matter how fast you run to it. It's yours. Like, nobody's going to steal them. When
if he's up there, I'm running. in case anything happens.
Just don't hurt your knee.
Yeah, right. Okay, we got Jahan Dotson or Christian Watson.
Let's talk about Jahan Dotson for a second, because a lot of people have mentioned when I threw out the Tyler Smith or Desmond Ridder, if Burks is off the board. A lot of people are saying, well, why not Jahan Dotson? I like Jahan Dotson. We had a whole show. I don't know if Jackie, you were on that show with me or not, but I had a whole show where I just gloated about how much I like Jahan Dotson. And aside from Jamison Williams, probably the best deep threat in the NFL draft this year, I just don't think the Titans are going to draft him. I just don't think the Titans and John Robinson and Mike Vrabel are going to spend a first-round pick on a 5'10" wide receiver. That's just not who they go after, right? And so that's where I've almost kind of eliminated Jahan Dotson, just because I know that's not the Titans' preference when it comes to wide receiver type.
Yeah, and I'm with you there, because it feels like every time a team in the NFL draft drafts for speed and speed only, it always comes back to bite them. And you can find speed nowadays at different positions in this draft. There were 8 dudes who ran under a 4.4 in the 40 at the combine. So it's not just Jahan Dotson who has, lightning speed, but
he's got great hands, right? His
yeah.
catch rate is insane. He only
I
like
just
2 drops in his at
I
Penn
just think
State
the
last year.
Titans, if they are to draft a receiver, they want a guy who can do multiple things, not just take the top off of defense. And I know that's what Titans fans have been clamoring for. Get you a guy who can take the top off the defense. But Traylon Burks is a better option, in my opinion. And while he may not be there, he's more versatile. He can, he's like a miniature AJ Brown, but not miniature at all.
Yeah, no, he's just a little bit lesser than. I would love if they drafted Jahan Dotson. I think it would be great because I did see Stefan Dobbs say, or Stefan, I don't know why I said Stefan. I don't know actually what it is, but he says Dotson probably has the best hands in the draft. He might. And John Robinson has said this so many damn times as Titans general manager, is that the wide receivers has to do 2 things: get open, catch the football. And then block is number 3 for the Titans. But he always says, get open and catch the football. Jahan Dotson can get open and he catches the football. He's just 5'10", 185.
Yes.
And I just don't, the Titans have not shown to have a lot of interest in that type of player.
I don't know that they have a receiver on the roster that's under 6 foot.
I mean, they do. It's Chester Rogers, Mason Kinsey.
Mason Kinsey practice squad, Chester Rogers.
But that's literally, those are the 2 guys. Everybody else, I mean, because who has John Robinson gone out there and added at wide receiver under his drafting, right? You've got Tajay Sharp was his first wide receiver pick. Then Corey Davis. Taywan Taylor was kind of the option, but he was a 3rd round pick. Taywan Taylor was, and John Robinson got burned by him, right?
16th round picked in the USFL draft, by the way.
Oh God, that just makes me throw up. Speaking of which, could not get open and could not catch a football, could not learn the plays. Yeah, Cam Batson's also, Michael, a good thought there. Cam Batson, a smaller wide receiver too. But other wide receivers he's added: AJ Brown, big body, right? Dez Fitzpatrick, not very good, but he's a big body.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Julio Jones. I mentioned Corey Davis already. Racey McMath.
Now Robert Woods.
Robert Woods is not small, but he's also not big. But he's bigger than Jahan Dotson.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I just don't see them drafting a Jahan Dotson type wide receiver. As much as I like Jahan Dotson, he's just kind of, to me, he's not on the Titans board probably.
No, I agree. I truly do. I'm not mad about it. I think speed at the wide receiver position you can find, and it's not as hard as everyone makes it out to be, right? But again, these top flight speed dudes are going to go in the top 15. They're not going to be there at 26. Yeah. So if Jahan Dotson is still around at the end of the 1st round, I think that tells you a little bit of a little something. And again, he didn't test well at the combine either.
Jamal brings up Marcus Johnson, even's a big body. Josh Malone from Percy is a bigger body. And congratulations to where'd my guy go? I was going to give a congratulations to Charles for stepping out on the lowest, thickest branch ever with this opinion of Jameson Williams is the best wide receiver in this draft. Just watch. No, we know, Charles. Like, again, lowest, thickest branch you could possibly walk out on.
He's going to go in the top 10, and he tore his ACL in the college football playoff.
He's insane. We all know he's insane. I saw a mock draft this morning where he went to the damn Texans at 13. I thought, crap. That would not be good for Titans fans. Yeah. But I don't know who's throwing the ball. But again, look, Charles, come on, man. Like, hot take? No, that's like a ice cold take that doesn't matter that much. There's not just watch. Yeah, we know that. We all feel that same way.
Hey, the sun's going to come out tomorrow. Just watch, Austin.
Yeah, just watch and then watch it not. And then who knows what will happen. All right, A to Z Sports here live. So your guy's Traylon Burks, right?
Yeah, I think it has to be for me. I want J-Rob to call the Hogs. Ooh, pig suey. That's what I want to be screaming tomorrow or tonight on the draft show.
I do not want that to happen. I like Traylon Burks, but I just don't want Jack to do woo pig suey on the draft reaction.
If they bring Burks home, I'll do woo pig suey.
I don't want you to. I have the ability to mute your mic, so I might have to pull that again.
Caleb says he's with you. He said, "Don't do that."
Yeah.
No more of that.
So, man, I feel like I'm with you. I like Traylon Burks. I think wide receiver in the first round is where I've landed. Again, like I mentioned, roller coaster of emotions throughout the entire draft process. You take a lot of twists and turns. I do think it would be the best in the Titans' interest, immediate and long term, to draft a wide receiver in the first round. And I think Treylon Burks is the best, most realistic option for that to actually happen.
Here's a caveat for you, and I haven't heard anybody talk about this.
Okay.
So, is it fair to maybe assume that the relationship between John Robinson, Mike Vrabel, and Sam Pittman, Arkansas's head coach, may be a little fractured? Because if you remember, Georgia's offensive line coach at the time the Titans drafted Isaiah Wilson was Sam Pittman. So there may be a little, a few trust issues mixed in there as well. And look, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but bridges have been burned in the NFL for much less. So I just think that's something to keep in the back of your mind. Treylon Burks is also not a guy. I don't think he's got any of the red flags that Wilson did. No. But for Sam Pittman to kind of lead the Titans on with Isaiah Wilson, and then everybody saw it blow up in their face, I just wonder in the back of my mind, does that factor in?
It's a good thought, but I just don't think there's the red flags or concern with Treylon Burks like there was Isaiah Wilson. Wilson, but I do think it's a good point. I haven't really heard anybody talking about that. Jamal asked if the Titans grab a running back in this draft in like the 4th or 6th round. Well, if you watched yesterday, Zach and I did a live mock draft. We made 3 trades. We got Treylon Burks at 32 overall, traded with the Lions. Then we got Cole Strange, the guard from Chattanooga, with the Titans' 3rd round pick. Then we add the 97th pick from that Lions trade, Jack. We thought about Jelani Woods. We thought hard. We gambled. We said, can we trade back a few spots to get Jelani Woods at 105? We made the trade with the Niners to move back to 105 for Jelani Woods. He got snatched up right before us with the Eagles. So we got James Cook, Dalvin Cook's little brother, running back out of Georgia, which I thought was a really, really solid insurance and fallback. You talk about Treylon Burks being a great plan B in the draft tonight for the Titans. James Cook was a really good fallback plan B from us wanting Jelani Woods at 105. So yeah, I thought that was I do think running back could be an option. James Cook is somebody to watch. If they do add another 3rd round pick, I think that would make a lot of sense. Steven says the gamble failed, but we got James Cook, which I didn't think was bad.
I like James Cook, and for whatever reason, anytime the Titans try and draft a small little scat back or bring one in like Dion Lewis, we obviously saw Darrington Evans leave this offseason. Feels like it never works. James Cook's 5'11", and he runs hard, and he can cut on a dime as well. So I like
he's a big
James
dude
Cook offers.
Like he's a big guy. He's thick. James Cook is not scat. He can't catch though.
And you get rid of D'Onta Foreman in the offseason. He goes to the Panthers. The Titans could use another physical guy back there. I think James Cook would fit that mold.
All right. So now we who do you want? I'm with Treylon Burks. We're both with Treylon Burks is who we want. Now let's get prediction time. Final prediction. What will the Titans do with the 26th pick? What will the Titans officially do with the 26th pick overall? But first, let me tell you guys about Farm Bureau Health Plans. FBHP.com/ATOZ. If you want better health coverage rates and better service, that's where you go. FBHP.com/ATOZ with Farm Bureau Health Plans. Jack Gentry is a member of the family. Zach Bingham is a member of the Farm Bureau Health Plan family as well. And there's a lot of ways you can sign up. You can go to one of the 200 plus locations across the state of Tennessee, or you can jump on a phone call. You can get on a Zoom. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to leave your house. You don't have to put on pants. But you can get a better health coverage with a lower rate and actual service, because we have a great relationship with Farm Bureau Health Plans. They answer emails. They answer the phone. They get back with you. They work with you. Zach saved over 20% a month on his health coverage by switching to Farm Bureau Health Plans. You can do the same thing as well. FBHP.com/ATOZ.
Yes. Also, don't forget, download the BetMGM app. Tons of stuff to bet on tonight. Not only the NFL draft, but there's action on the hardwood in the NBA playoffs. So if you bet $10, if you use code A to Z 200, put $10 on a money line in the NBA playoffs. You'll turn that $10 into $200 when either team hits a 3-point shot in the game you'd bet. Either team's got to hit it, not just the team you bet on, bet that $10 money line wager on. So let me go over it again. Bet MGM, download, use code A to Z 200, put a $10 money line wager on any of the NBA playoff teams in action tonight, and that turns into $200 when either team hits a 3-point shot. Hey guys, a little spoiler alert. Both teams are going to be hitting a lot of 3-point shots. Okay, any game that you choose to bet on. That's a free $200 off a $10 money line wager. Use code A to Z 200 to take advantage of that tonight.
Yeah, visit betmgm.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older. Tennessee only new customer offer. All promotions subject to qualification, eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire in 7 days. For problem game support, call Tennessee Redline 800-889-9789. Jack, I'll send you, sir, to the comment section. 26th pick overall. Final prediction. What do the Titans do? What are the people saying?
Nate John thinks it's Ritter. I think a lot of people
done.
I think a lot of people would be left scratching their heads. They reach on Tyler Smith and we all get pissed. I wouldn't be shocked, Mike.
Likely.
I'm just saying that. We keep going. Chris Stress says he thinks Tyler Smith, and we all cry ourselves to sleep at night. I've got a bad feeling that if the Titans draft Tyler Smith, that there may be couches being burned on Broadway. Here we go. Michael Ryan Harden says Burks, if he's there. If not, get back. Go to the second round, find your guy. Zion or Green says Mr. Clean. We've got Drake London says Orlando. If he's there, got to get him. I don't think he'll be there. Trade back for 2 second-round picks. Mark Jones wants that draft capital. I'm with you there, Mark. That would be nice if your guy is not available. Desmond Ritter, Traylon Burks, Ethan Green loves them. Trade back, trade back, trade back. No trade ups. Notice that we haven't seen any trade ups. There's not a guy that the Titans or the chat wants the Titans to trade up.
So let's talk about that for a second, because that's what Adam Schefter, Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport are saying. Like, a lot of teams want to trade back. Who wants to trade up? Right. And we don't know. That's the scenario we had yesterday in the Pro Football Focus live mock that we did, is that we traded back with the Lions. There were a few teams that were interested in the pick. The Lions wanted it. We wanted to stay in the first round. So I do think it would be interesting to see who might be interested in the Titans' 26th overall pick. You know, I don't see what that player on the board, who that player on the board will be to cause somebody to jump up to 26. I would love for that to happen, but I just don't know.
If John Robinson and the Titans are playing this like I think that they are playing this, these QB rumors, these ties, these smoke screens out there to, involving a bunch of these quarterbacks in this draft, mainly Ritter, a couple of Sam Howells out there. But I think that he's made that 26th pick and the picks directly in front of him also much more valuable than they usually would be, just because the idea that the Titans might take a quarterback. All 32 teams, well, obviously the Titans, the other 31 teams saw what happened with Ryan Tannehill in that Bengals game. They know that the sand in the hourglass is running out on Ryan Tannehill with the team. So the Titans, by floating the idea that, hey, with that 26th pick, we may bring in a quarterback, that opens the door for potential trade back possibilities. I think it's a clever move on John Robinson's part, if in fact this is what he's doing. So, we'll see exactly what happens there, but trading up seems like a big gamble. If you trade up, which position are you trading up for? For the Titans, it would be receiver. But
yeah, and you don't
in
have
this draft. If you're trading up, you're probably trading up into the top 3 for an edge rusher if you want one, or in the top 10 for one of those, Garrett Wilson's,
tackles,
Jameson Williams,
or one
Olave.
of the top tackles, Evan Neal, right?
Yeah. So,
or corner, right? Or maybe it's Derek Stingley.
Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley. Yeah, both good options. But I just picking 26 with the Titans having the needs that they have makes no sense to trade up.
All right. My prediction, Jack, and I got a text from your Uncle Jim Wyatt the other day.
Yeah, I got one too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Congratulations. Is this your first year being on?
I think this is honestly my 3rd year being on it.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, so I'm a seasoned vet by these.
There you go. Then. So Jack and I didn't know you were getting texts from your Uncle Jim Wyatt to be on the official Titans media mock prediction. So I got the text from Jim. I knew what it was going to be before I opened it. So I got the anxiety of the pressure of the pick.
Yes.
So I went with Kenyon Green, offensive lineman from Texas A&M. Zach did the same thing. Zach said it on the show yesterday because he's out on the way to Vegas right now. I did not tell Zach that we picked the same person, but yeah, Zach and I picked the same person. We both go with Kenyon Green, Texas A&M offensive lineman. And just there's too many dots to connect, right? It's a versatile offensive lineman who has a lot of production, 35 consecutive starts, played left tackle, played right tackle, played left guard, played right guard.
Team captain,
right? He's, the Titans brought him in for a top 30 visit. They like doing that. It's from a big school. He's still a young player, a 3-year player in college at A&M. So I think he checks so many boxes. If Kenyon Green is on the board at 26, there's no way the Titans don't take him because he could be your answer for Roger Saffold leaving or your answer at right tackle. And then Dylan Radins can be the other or however it works out. And you have a guy that's going to be on the offensive line. That's a big dude who can block, run block, pass block, whatever, low penalty rate. He's got a lot of things the Titans want. So Kenyon Green is who I think they are going to draft if he's there.
I think the approval rate for a Kenyon Green at 26 for Titans fans would be high. I mean, we'd be talking upper 80s, maybe low 90s with that one. The people who don't approve are just, have been hurt before with the offensive line.
Yeah, right. Or just bored by offensive line.
Which is fair.
But again,
it's not sexy, but it's what the Titans need. The Titans need to fill that hole.
And so Zach brought this up earlier in the week, and he's brought it up a couple times. Do you want to, with the quarterback thing, do you want to help Ryan Tannehill or do you want to put pressure on Ryan Tannehill? Well, you want to help Ryan Tannehill this year. So Kenyon Green absolutely helps Ryan Tannehill. He also helps Derrick Henry. He helps Taylor Lewan. He helps Ben Jones. He might help Nate Davis. And he helps A.J. Brown and all the other pass catchers if he can be a good blocker.
Drafting an offensive lineman in the first round is not sexy, but you know what is sexy? Watching Derrick Henry run through holes you could drive a tractor trailer through. You know what also is sexy? Ryan Tannehill having 7 seconds back there to find A.J. Brown, Robert Woods, or whoever else it may be. That is sexy. Sexy is winning in the playoffs. I think Kenyon Green helps you do that in year one, which is what the Titans are trying to find in the first place. A guy that can contribute, can win, can help you win, and make a run in the playoffs late in the season. That's the next step for the Titans. Kenyon Green, I think, accomplishes that.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. So, who did you text? Your Uncle Jim Wyatt for the prediction.
See, I like with these mock draft type of things. I don't ever do them. I think it's a waste of time personally, and things change so much.
They're so addicting, man.
And especially picking back in the first round, it's impossible. But I texted him Treylon Burks. I'm speaking it into existence, right? I'm putting it in the universe. So if he's there, the Titans will grab him. I do think that if he's available, that's who they take. I'm just worried about him being available, Austin. I really am.
What if Kenyon Green and Treylon Burks are available?
You're in draft heaven. I mean,
no, but now you got to pick. I'd rather just one of them.
You get one of them.
Well, now you can be proven wrong. I'd rather have just one be available.
Who cares? Who cares about being proved wrong? I mean, if you have two of those guys available, that's a win in the first round. You win the first round with one of those.
Yeah, I would think so. So, real quick, Bama Brad says the Packers will take Treylon Burks. I've seen a lot about that. And Lou Man says Dallas wants Kenyon Green. I've heard Dallas being interested in Kenyon Green. I've listened to some of Will Steele's A to Z Sports Dallas morning show some this week. But I also think.
But Jerry Jones, I mean, come on. Talk about unpredictable. What he did at the last couple of drafts have just been berserk. Now it's worked out for him.
Dallas needs offensive line. And so you're hoping that there's a lot of, there's the Linderbaum, there's Zion Johnson. Like you want Zion Johnson to go 24 to Dallas, right? Or, I don't know. I mean, like if Dallas takes an O-line, then you take the O-lineman they didn't take. Which is probably, as long as it's not Tyler Smith, then you're okay.
Yeah, right. Anybody but Tyler Smith.
Yeah. So again, like my overall thought, I think Kenyon Green or Zion Johnson would be a great draft pick.
Yeah.
If those two offensive linemen are not there, I think you reach on a wide receiver rather than go Tyler Smith.
But behind all of those is trading back into the second round. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, look, I mean, we can talk through every scenario we want to. We'll be on live, by the way,
Yeah.
during watching this happen. So we'll talk through it all. But if there's no Kenyon Green, if there's no Zion Johnson, if there's no Treylon Burks, get the hell out. Try to get the hell out.
I'm with
But
you.
if you can't get the hell out, then reach on the next wide receiver, not the next offensive lineman.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's a fair game plan. We'll see what they do tonight. We'll be with you. I'm so excited to be with you guys live to react to all this because
Yeah.
I wear my emotions on my sleeve. If the Titans knock it out of the park, you'll know it from me. If they come up a little short, maybe Tyler Smith, ooh, it's going to be a depressing draft show. I'll tell you that much.
Now, we've already predicted that we think Jack thinks there's a 95% chance that the Titans go with either of these any of these five guys. Kenyon Green, Treylon Burks, Zion Johnson, Tyler Smith, Desmond Ridder.
And the other 5% is not reserved for a certain player, but I think it's reserved for trading back.
Or next wide receiver. So Lou Man asked, what time tonight? That's the hard part about the draft is we've done this before. Zach and I in 2017, 5 years ago, my God. But in 2017, we went live for the entire first round. It was when the Titans picked 5th and 18th. So we went live for the entire first round. We were at a sports bar. I told this story in the Tighten Up podcast with Jack and Huff, who will be live with us tonight. That the waitress kept refreshing Zach and I's beer. It was a draft beer, so we kept getting topped off. And so it was a while. And Chris Stress knows 2017 was the best. Because yeah, man, when around like pick 25, when Tre'Davious White went off the board to the Bills at 27, and the Titans just pick Adoree Jackson at 18, and we were arguing about Tre'Davious White or Adoree Jackson. There was slurring. It was again, there's a reason why we have not gone live for the entire draft at a sports bar since that time. We did it once.
Man, I came 5 years too late.
It was so much fun, but I have no idea how many beers I drank that night because they kept getting refilled behind my computer, and so I couldn't even see it. But it was very funny. It was very funny.
We'll have to find a way, whether it's alcohol, caffeine, or whatever else it may be. We'll have to find a way to stay live this tonight. It's going to be a long night, but I'm pumped. Yeah. I may just run on pure adrenaline.
Chris says it was the best draft coverage ever. Maybe one time we'll just bring it back and just do drunk drafts for the hell of it. It was really fun. Is that show still posted? Yeah, I mean it's on our Facebook page somewhere.
We'll have an A to Z the Ocho channel where people are
we have had 5 years of a lot of live stream videos that you have to go search through on the Facebook page, but it's there somewhere. It is absolutely there. All right, A to Z Sports here live on the show, but we will probably go live around 10 p.m. tonight, Central Time. Okay, so that's kind of the ballpark, 10 p.m. Central Time there tonight. So Zach texted me this morning. He said, I'll put $250 on any Titans draft bet that we come up with on the show today. Wow. Because Zach's he's probably landing soon in Vegas, right? So early flight for Zach and Jake and Parker with A to Z. So $250 of Zach's money, we get to decide where it goes. Okay, so we will do that here in a second on a Titans draft bet. I will show you the odds for the positions that we'll go through. But first, let me tell you guys about Wilson County Hyundai. WilsonCountyHyundai.com is where to go. Absolutely make them a part of your car buying process because they're trustworthy. They're good at what they do. Payne Bone and his team, they're very good at what they do. So make sure you can go find your new ride. It's tough to buy a new car right now in the market, but go to Wilson County Hyundai in Lebanon or check out what they got at WilsonCountyHyundai.com. If they don't have it, they'll go find it. They got great brands. The Hyundai Palisade, I see them all the time on the street. They're sweet. I've test driven it all the time. Hyundai Palisade, sweet. So go check them out in Lebanon at WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Austin, you mentioned the word trustworthy.
Yeah.
That's what you have to have. You have to have some trust in the sportsbook app that you're using. You have that in BetMGM. You can trust them with your money. You download the BetMGM app, use our promo code that's available right now, A to Z 200, and place a $10 moneyline wager on any of the NBA teams in action tonight in the playoffs. $10 turns into $200 when either team in that game hits a single 3-point shot. Just one 3-pointer will do. 10 turns into 200. It's kind of a tongue twister, a lot of alliteration there. 10 turns into 200 with code A to Z 200. Download the BetMGM app, plug that code in, and start winning money on the BetMGM app tonight in the NBA.
Yep, take advantage of that. And Zach is on the way to Vegas right now. Again, he texted me this morning. I will read the text just so we've got it for sure. He goes, ask the audience today what we should bet on. $250. And then he's going to take it to the BetMGM Sportsbook in Vegas today and do that. Okay. So I will show you the odds. Here they are, right? From the BetMGM Sportsbook app. First player drafted by the Titans at the position. Offensive line plus 200. Wide receiver plus 325. D lineman plus 350. Quarterback plus 400. DB plus 500. I think everything else below defensive back are probably out.
All the Trey McBride first round stands are weeping after reading these odds.
Right. So those are our odds.
Yeah.
Where do we want Zach to put $250?
Well,
what position?
My gut tells me that Treylon Burks is not going to be there, right? I don't think he'll be there. So if Treylon Burks isn't there, and like we talked about earlier in the show, it just doesn't feel like Dotson. I would struggle to see the Titans drafting Jahan Dotson. So with those two receivers probably gone, now I don't want to make any guarantees. It's draft night. Anything could happen. That kind of eliminates the wide receiver bet for me. I mean, It's really Treylon Burks or nothing, I feel like here. But in putting your eggs in one player's basket, that's a dangerous game to play, especially in the draft. Now with the offensive lineman, it's a little bit different, right? Because Zion Johnson, sure, he could go earlier, but then you've got Kenyon Green, who could easily slip to 26. So, and again, this is the first player drafted. This is not the first round pick. So if the Titans do trade back into the second round, who might they take? I think if you trade back, the likelihood you're drafting an offensive lineman with that first pick is boosted. So I think you get a little more value with offensive line. That's where I would go. But I want to hear what the chat has to say.
Ooh, I see a good option here. Damon says 150 on O-line and 100 on wide receiver. It's just first player taken, just like Jack mentioned.
Not in the first, doesn't have to be the first round. If the Titans' first pick comes in the second round, that bet still counts.
But let's do math, okay? You want to do math? So let's just say for $250, if he puts all 250 on offensive lineman, that's 500 in winnings, right? Yeah. Easy math. So 750 total because you get the 250 back you won.
500 profit, yeah.
Right, 500 profit. If he goes with wide receiver at 250, that would be, excuse me, as I'm getting the calculator out, that'd be $812 in profit.
That's Treylon Burks right there. Not only do you get Treylon Burks to talk about for the rest of the offseason, you get $800 to go with it.
So let's do this and let's play Damon's game. Let's go because we want to find a profit, right? 150. We're talking if they go offensive line.
So you'll make $300.
300, which is $50 over 250. So there's a profit there. If you go 100, then it's $325 of profit.
Mm-hmm.
I think Damon's, because now
I think that's a smart strategy. It just doesn't feel like they're going anywhere else besides O-line and wide receiver. And the quarterback is where this bet makes you sad. If they take a quarterback, you're gonna leave Vegas pretty upset about it. But I just don't see it happening. So I think it's a good strategy. You'd make what, $50 if they draft an offensive lineman, $75 if they take a receiver. I don't see how that strategy loses tonight.
I like Damon's guaranteed money. Ken says 100 on wide receiver, 100 on O-line, 50 on profit. I don't think you can go just 100 on O-line and be okay.
No, you'd win $30.
Yeah.
Or what, $50? No.
Yeah, Ethan, has Damon been watching A to Z Sports Picks presented by BetMGM?
Yeah, Damon knows what he's doing.
Damon knows what's up, and I love Alan Bell can go all out with these scenarios on how can you guarantee a profit like this.
Look, the only way that this fails is a quarterback, I think, right? What other position would the Titans take with that first pick? I mean, if they really want to trade back and, reach for a tight end maybe in the second round, maybe that happens. But I think it's got to be receiver or offensive lineman. The Titans, they have to fill one of those two holes early in this draft. They can't wait to do it like they tried to last year with Dez Fitzpatrick. John Robinson learned from that mistake. He knows he's not going to sit around and wait again. So that's offensive lineman and receiver, two of the biggest needs, especially on that offense, which was the problem in the playoffs. I think that those get filled with this first pick. So, yeah, I like Damon's strategy. Lock in that profit, get in, get out, maybe use that $10 bet MGM code. You leave with like $300 in profit tonight, guys. I mean, come on.
Okay, so if I'll text that to Zach, that'll be one. But if Zach goes, no, that's not the rules, it's just one bet.
That'll be
right?
one.
If Zach says we just have to do one, what's the one?
We're in the business of making a profit, right? Not hitting long shot bets. The draft, it's tough to do that anyways, especially with the Titans, only having a handful of needs to fill, and really only a couple that are capable of being filled in the first round. I think it's got to be offensive linemen. Like I mentioned, there's just more there. Treylon Burks seems like the one and only for the Titans. If he's gone, I don't believe that they'll take a receiver if one doesn't slip.
Yeah.
I think it's offensive line.
Yeah, I'm with Orlando.
And to be honest, I would be comfortable throwing all 250 on offensive line, like Orlando said.
Okay, so I'm going to text Zach. I'm going to say Damon's playing a 150 O-line, 100 wide receiver. I'm going to text him that. If
no
Zach
guts,
goes,
no glory, baby.
If Zach says, no, that's not the rules, it's his money. He can make up the rules however the hell he wants to. Then if he says that, then I will say, okay, then we went O-line all 250. So are we signing off on that?
Yeah. I think the chat's in agreement as well. So, O-line, Danny Sutherland, yeah, he's cool with it. Lucas says O-line if it's got to be one. Sky Moore says Eric Castillo, which Orlando, could be a trade back situation. If they trade back, Sky Moore could be an option there.
Yeah. Orlando says, can he answer us back before the show ends? No, he is still in the air. He lands at like 8:45 Pacific time, which is 2 hours from now. So he's still in the air for another 2 hours. So no, we're not going to stay on. I gotta go. I gotta be somewhere at 10. So we're not going
to land, get a Bloody Mary, and then head to the betting window.
No, he is. Yeah, he is no drinking right now. He's got work to do. Damn it. But yeah, he definitely needs to go to the BetMGM Sportsbook window. And I do this. Mark is right. Ja's still in the air.
That's right. That dunk was insane. Malik Beasley, poor guy, just put it. He dunked him into the core of the earth. There's no coming back from that.
So funny. And Scoop says, tweeted out, yep, Zach already said he's going to social the ticket when he goes to the BetMGM Sportsbook. He's going to have the ticket and he'll put that out all over social media. Yeah. So, and Derek says, have Buck let us know on the radio show. Maybe. I don't know what Buck's got planned today for the zone show, but maybe. Well, it depends on timing of when Zach can get to the sportsbook window. All right, but that's the plan. So I like the plan. Sounds great to me. All right, let's wrap up this Thursday morning draft day show, Jack, with the Magic Bucket presented by the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Whenever you get hurt in life, know who to go to. Again, we keep using that trust word, but trust is right there because your body with an injury, you absolutely have to trust that doctor, that rehab physician that's helping you out with whatever you're hurt with. boneandjointtn.org. In Franklin, it's seriously the region. Region includes the mid-state, Southern Kentucky, Northern Alabama. They got you covered. boneandjointtn.org.
Yeah, BetMGM, they've got you covered as well. And you could have them covered tonight if you bet on offensive linemen to be picked in the first round. But that's not the code they're offering. They've got a better code for you. A to Z 200 for new users upon downloading will get you $200 as long as you put $10 on a money line on one of the NBA teams in action tonight. Put $10 on the money line for any NBA team in action tonight. That automatically turns to $200 when one three-pointer is hit in that game. $10 turns to $200 with code A to Z 200. All you're going to need is one three-pointer to be made in the game. 10 to 200, A to Z 200.
All right, time for the magic bucket, Jack. Here you are again, always finding a way to get on the magic bucket.
Yeah, well, it's not just a coincidence at this point, right?
Yeah, Zach's just like only missing Thursday show. No, there's
Yeah, Zach does plan his week around the magic bucket. You're right.
We both clicked that comment at the
Twice.
same time twice. Like, God, what the heck? All right. So Billy is correct. All right, magic bucket time.
I haven't ducked or dodged, have I?
Well, I don't have my gift yet.
Yeah, I know it's stickers for the bucket though, and I had an issue with that. I'm gonna get back on it today. That'll be coming soon.
Do you have it at your house yet?
No, there was an issue. The website. It was kind of a sketchy deal because these stickers. Again, no one has ever made a sticker like this before. That's why I wanted on the bucket. But
did you wear a beanie?
Oh damn! I was supposed to wear a beanie.
You can do that tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow.
All right, beanie tomorrow.
Look, these Thursday shows. I think the last time I was on was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, sometimes Jack's not on Friday. Sometimes he is. Yeah. All right, this one's for Jack. Oh, it's the same Amazon thing, so I can't.
I gotta redo that one.
All right.
Rooney says Jack
loves it. Should I on my shoulder? Does that count as what I'd pull?
Yeah, that counts. That counts.
You've already done this though too, because you taught us how to tie a shoe, didn't you?
Yeah, I've done the shoe tie. I still don't have it yet. I blew it the last time we talked about the company card. I blew it. I blew my chance.
Okay. You have to do this tomorrow too. So it's going to be perfect with the beanie. And I don't know if you'll be able to pull this off because of timing. But you're supposed to wear clip-on earrings on the show.
Man, oh God. I'm going to be looking like a TikTok guy.
I know, it's going to be great.
Okay, I can find some clip-ons. I've got to run an errand after the show anyways. I may just stop. Where do they sell them?
Claire's, I don't know.
Yeah, Claire's was going to be my only guess too. That's in the mall. I could maybe do a mall trip.
Quick story. Harry Douglas. This is the Titans locker room story from like 2015. Harry Douglas was in the locker room and had these big, nice, shiny earrings on. And one of the like the rookie players, who was like a nobody, I was like, "Hey man, Harry, those are sick, man. Where'd you get those? How much you pay for those?" He goes, "Claire's, man, $20. They're fake."
Shameless.
He was like, "Claire's, man, like don't spend money on diamond earrings. Claire's, $20. We're great."
Harry Douglas, always a real one.
So funny. All right, so this one's for me.
While you're picking, Mark Jones asked, "Who's the next guest?" We had Justin Mello on this week. If you haven't done your draft homework yet, listen to 30 minutes of that interview. He's got all the information you'll need. Awesome time talking to him. Check out this week's Tighten Up podcast with Justin Mello of the Draft Network.
I'm also on it too.
Austin does make a cameo.
Yeah. All right. Well, tomorrow's show is going to be interesting because as Jack is going to be wearing at least a beanie and hopefully some clip-on earrings, I will have to over gel my hair tomorrow.
Oh, thank God I didn't get that one. I don't own gel. I don't put products in this. I'm not investing in a dying product up here.
I'm getting a haircut tonight, or today, this afternoon. So that we can do that. Over gel my hair, and Jack has to wear clip-on earrings. This should be interesting.
That'll be fun. Hey, look, it's a Friday show. Thank God it's a Friday, right?
Yeah, but it's a big show. It's draft reaction to the first round show.
That's true, man.
It's not just any normal Friday show, Jack.
Taking video from that, if I were to take video, I mean, I'm always going to be in clip-on earrings. People are going to have questions about me. Like,
there you go. All right.
We'll see about it.
Guys, tonight, big reaction show, draft reaction show. Myself, Austin Huff, Jack Gentry from the Tighten Up podcast will be on around 10 p.m. Central Time for the Titans pick. To react to it, we'll preview it, all that kind of stuff. Great sponsors that we'll talk about more. We have a chance to give you guys legitimate, like VIP passes to crazy festivals this fall in Louisville. So we'll see you guys tonight. Get your nap in, Jack. We're going to need it. It's a late night.
I know.
And an early turnaround for those clip-on earrings. So we'll see you guys later on tonight on a Thursday night draft special. Thanks for watching, guys. Looking forward to it. See you later.